Hello and welcome to your English pronunciation course. Today we're gonna talk about English consonants. Here we go. The lecture gonna discuss two main topics. The first is general properties of English consonants, and number two, types of English consonants. And I want you to go to your books and open your books chapter 5. Here we go. Yeah. In this chapter, we're gonna talk about, as I told you, how to describe English consonants, what are their major general properties, and so on. Let's first talk about the general properties of consonants. We have a number of general properties. Number one, that the transcription and pronunciation of consonants is significantly easier than vowels. This is a very important thing. We don't have major problems with transcription and pronunciation of English consonants. Of course, there are some problems, but it's an easy job for you to transcribe and even to pronounce English consonants. This is number one. Okay. Then number two, we have the second property is that when we pronounce English consonants, we produce them in one of two ways. Either by complete closure of airstream due to the closing movement of speech organs such as lips, as in p, b, and m, tongue and alveolar ridge as in t and d, and back of the tongue and soft palate as in ka or ga. This is one way, which is complete closure of airway. Okay, complete closure of airway. Or the second way is partial closure of airway, and this happens by or through a constriction or a narrowing created by movements of organs of speech. Okay, so we have two ways. Number one, complete closure, as in p, b, m, t, d, etc. Or partial closure, where air goes through a narrow passage, as in the most of the consonants, as we're gonna see. And they are called fricatives and approximants to some extent. So this is a second property. Either we pronounce consonants either by complete closure or of airstream or by partial closure of airstream, narrowing. Okay. Third property is phonological nature, which is that consonants typically come at the beginning and the end of syllables, the edges of the syllable, either individually or in clusters. What does this mean? We know that the syllable is a sound unit which is higher than the phoneme, وحدة صوتية أكبر من الفونيم, and always in the middle of the syllable there must be a vowel, because if there is no vowel, there is no syllable. Vowel is essential, and at the the beginning and at the end of the syllable we can find consonants. So consonants come at the beginning and at the end of syllables, but never in the middle, because the middle of the syllable is always occupied by vowels. For example, the word cat, for example, let's go to this, the word cat. If we transcribe this, we find that it's a ka, and here is a, and this is t. So cat, if you look at this, you get it here. Okay, and you will find that yes, cat, and you make it a bit bolder. Yeah, we find that cat, cat as a syllable, it starts with ka and then a and then ta. We find that which is a vowel, comes in the middle of the syllable, as you see. At the beginning, we have a consonant. At the end, we have another consonant. This means that consonants usually come either at the beginning or at the end of the syllable, but never in the middle, because in the middle, we always see a vowel. This is the third property. A fourth property is that consonants are divided into two groups with regard to vocal fold vibration. You know that vocal fold vibration is essential to make voice. No voice without vocal fold vibration. So consonants involving vocal fold vibration are called voiced or leanest or weak consonants. And as you see, most of the English consonants are voiced. So we have b, d, g, f, v, z, j, j, l, r, ya, wa. There must be here a wa. Wa, yes, ya, ma, na, and ng. Okay, and here we have also a number of voiceless consonants, consonants made without voicing, without vocal fold vibration, and we have other terms such as fortes and weak. And in English, there are nine voiceless consonants, and they are, as you see, p, t. They are just mere noise in pronounced here, or not voice or not regular voice. So we have p, t, k, f, s, sh, ch, h, s. Okay, and of course there is something we can use, a test, which is putting your finger on the larynx, and you can feel the vocal fold while vibration in the pronunciation of voice consonants. You can try saying, for example, v. Do you feel the vibration? Try saying, for example, also z. Of course, you can feel vibration because these are voice consonants. Okay. A fifth property is that all consonants are oral. What does this mean? Air goes out through the mouth. As the soft palate is somehow raised, except in only three consonants, ma, na, and ing, which are nasal consonants. We said before that the soft palate, the last part of the roof of the mouth is movable. It can be raised, and in this case, it can shut the nasal cavity, and air goes through the mouth. And it can be lowered, and in this case, the oral cavity, التجويف الفمي, is closed or shut, and air goes or escapes out through the nasal cavity. And in this case, we pronounce three consonants in English, which are called nasal consonants. أصوات أنفية اللي هم دول, as we see, ma, na, and ing, which we pronounce when we say sing and thank you and so on. Okay. So again, we have 5 important major properties of consonants. One of them is that the transcription and pronunciation is easier. And number 2, they are pronounced by either complete or partial closure of air stream. Number 3, that they come at the beginning and end of syllables, and never in the middle. the edges, look at this, at the edges of the syllable. And number 4, they are divisible or divided into two categories or two groups. One is the voiced consonants, and the second is the voiceless consonants. And voiced consonants are called leanest or weak, and voiceless consonants are called fortis or strong, with a way strong. Okay. Yes, and the fifth property الخاصية الخامسة is that all consonants are oral بمعنى إن الهواء بيخرج من الفم النتيجة لإن soft palate is raised فمرفوع فبيقفل the nasal cavity. But this doesn't happen when we pronounce the 3 nasal consonants ma, na, and ing, where the soft palate is lowered to allow air to go through the nose, and while doing that we can pronounce these 3 consonants ma, na, and ing. Okay, now let's move on to consonant types. In English, consonants are normally grouped according to their manner and place of articulation. These are the 2 important dimensions we describe English consonants. And we have 6 groups. 6, don't forget this number. 6 groups. Number 1, plosives or stops. Number 2, fricatives. Number 3, affricates. Number 4, nasals. Number 5, lateral. Number 6, approximants. So here we put the plural form in order to say that they are, instead of saying plosives, we can say plosive consonants. And instead of saying fricative consonants, say only fricatives, and so on. Okay, let's start with stop and plosive consonant. I don't want you to go into so much details, but just look at the terminology, the term, المصطلح نفسه, and you can infer, ممكن أنت تستنتج the meaning or the definition of the term itself. For example, stop or plosive consonants. We call these consonants stop consonants because they stop air. Air is stopped in one way or another when we pronounce these consonants. And also when we pronounce them, there is some sort of plosive انفجار بسيط. حتى in Arabic they call them أصوات انفجارية. بيسموها في العربي أصوات انفجارية. تمام. فأنا لما أشوف stop consonant أعرف إن these consonants stop airway, بيوقفوا بيغلقهم, stop air from going out, close completely air passage. Plosion يبقى طالما أنا قفلت يبقى إيه يحصل plosion زي ما نشرح دلوقتي. And here we have 6 plosive consonants. We have p, t, p, t, k, b, d, g. The first 3 are voiceless. The second 3 are voiced. Okay. You can repeat after me. P. Okay. P, t, k, b, d, g. 3 voiceless مش بننطقهم بفويس خالص عشان هما مش محتاجينهم. P, t, k. والتلاتة التانيين محتاجين يبقى فيه voicing, فيه vibration of the vocal fold. فبنقول ب, d, g. Okay. In their productions, articulators هم organs of speech, أعضاء الكلام, come together tightly and stop. This is a very key word. And stop the airflow completely. No air بمعنى إن no air can escape. No air escapes. Conventionally, the production of stop consonant involves the following basic steps or stages. 3 مراحل عشان ننطق الصوت ده. Number 1, أو group دي مجموعة الأصوات دي اللي بنسميها stop or plosive consonants. Number 1, the closing stage. مرحلة الإغلاق, during which two organs of speech come in firm contact with each other. خلاص عندنا عضوين من الكلام come in firm contact with each other, بيمسكوا ببعض, touch each other firmly بشكل يعني جامد جدا. طب number 2, the hold or compression stage, and this is the stage where air is compressed behind the closure. Air is compressed behind the closure. What does it mean? Air is built up, بيتكون, is accumulated, is imprisoned behind the closure. أنا قفلت مجرى الهواء بيتكون, بيعمل لي مرحلة compression أو hold. طيب نيجي بقى the third stage is the release or explosion اللي منها جت من كلمة explosion state, مرحلة انتاج الصوت واخراج, وان احنا نسيب الهواء بقى يخرج عشان نقدر ننطق الصوت. يبقى during which the organs forming the previous closure depart rapidly, pushing the compressed air to go out abruptly in the form of a light explosion. خلاص يبقى أنا أول حاجة first stage I close air stream, and then air is built up, بيتكون or is held somehow behind the closure, compressed behind the closure. and the number 3 المرحلة الثالثة بقى release, إنتاج الصوت وإخراج الهواء علشان ننطق الصوت. And this happens when the two organs of speech that are forming the closure depart away from each other rapidly, and this air goes, which is compressed, وطبعا متكون, when it goes out after opening, we find that it goes out with explosion, slight explosion, انفجار بسيط كده, عشان كده بنسميها أصوات انفجارية, stop or plosive consonants. Okay. place of articulation, امتى بقى بيحصل الاير ستريم closure؟ طب بيحصل اغلاق مجرى الهواء ده فين؟ قالك in 3 important points, places, يعني في 3 اماكن. number 1 bilabial, p and b, as in, and this is the first point of closure, ودي بتحصل عن طريق the two lips, الشفتين, they get drawn together forming air closure. Bah are produced this way. However, during the hold or compression stage, a vibration of the vocal folds occurs in the production of B. يعني وانا بنطق البي العادية بتاع book, انا بيبدأ يحصل vibration even before I say it, even before I release air. This is an anticipation for the following vowel. And look at this, and we have some examples. Pan, dan, pay, bay, pat, bat, put, boot, pat, bat, pot, pose. Okay. And then the second place is and here we have another couple بقى اللي هو ch and j. مالهم بقى بيتنطقوا منين؟ when the tip of the tongue comes in firm contact with the alveolar ridge. You know the alveolar ridge? The alveolar ridge is the area that followed the upper teeth, the first part of the roof of the mouth, and here forming air closure. And this is the place where ch and j are articulated, with j voiced and ch voiceless. Okay, ch and j, ch, voiceless, no voice, no vibration, ch, d. Remember that we as Egyptians, we pronounce this couple from the, it's dental, بننطقه منطقة متقدمة شوية. So we say ta, we say da, no, go, English t and d, our tongue must get backward a little bit in order to touch not the teeth but the alveolar ridge immediately after the teeth. Remember that if we change the position of or the place of articulation of a particular sound, even 1 millimeter, only 1 millimeter، لو تحركنا بس 1 millimeter سواء بقى forward or backward، this makes a change in the quality of the sound. A change in the quality of the sound. Okay? So please try to get the position right to make the tip of your tongue touching the alveolar ridge rather than the teeth. So to get t and d, t, d, t, d, t, d, t, d. Okay. Of course, this is some some discussion of the T sound in American English. We're not going to talk about it right now. Let's move on to some example words. You can repeat after me, please. Yeah. Chime, 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 dime. Okay. Train, drain, try, dry, to, do, town, down. And the third place and third couple is ka and ga. And this is the velar. منطقة بقى الvelar. You know velar? You know, and the word velum. Velum is the name or the name of soft palate. Okay? This is where the back of the tongue is raised to firmly contact the soft palate, producing the voiceless ka and the voiced ga consonant. And it should be noted that p, t, k are voiceless and strong or fortis, and their production doesn't involve vocal fold vibration زي ما احنا قلنا قبل كده. I want to show you something. If we go to Google and we write stop consonant, okay, consonants, and we look at the images, I want to show you some production, so, let's say production or pronunciation, okay, yeah, aren't there any this is, for example, the b sound. Look at the two lips as you see the b sound, and look at the difference between and this is p sound. Here, look at the three stages of the three stages of the ثلاث مراحل بتاع إنتاج voiceless stop consonants. Number one, this is a closure بنقفلها اهوت في حالة البي. في حالة ال p. Okay, we have closure قفلنا اهوت. The two lips are closed to as making firm contact as you see, and then air is compressed. الهواء اهو متجمع لي after the closure. هذا القفلة اهوت، وبعدين air is compressed or pelt up بيكوم. And then the third stage, as you see, air goes out with some sort of زي ما انتم شايفين with some sort of explosion, slight explosion انفجار خفيف. يبقى دي المرحلة first stage closure. Second stage air is compressed or hold as you see, or it's a hold stage اللي هي air is built up or is compressed behind the closure متكون ورا الإغلاق، منطقة الإغلاق زي ما احنا شايفين الحاجز ده. and بعد كده when we open our mouth, and the two lips are drawn apart from each other بعد عن بعض. Air goes out abruptly and with slight explosion. يعني أرجو إن ده يكون يعني واضح عندكم. ده برضو ده نفس الطريقة بتاعت البي والبا والبا. هنا شايفين vibration of the vocal fold and so on. I hope to see something for to illustrate the T sound and the G sound. You know, the T sound and the G sound. Yeah, T and G sound. Stop consonant, say G and T. T and D. Yeah, T and D. How we pronounce this? Okay. But anyhow, I don't think that this would be different from what we mentioned before regarding the pronunciation of the plosive consonants in general. We get some examples, as we said, with regard to p, b, and of course, when we pronounce the t and d, the tip of the tongue touch the alveolar ridge. ما بيعملش بقى the closure area here is the alveolar ridge, and when we pronounce k and g, the closure area is the back of the tongue. زي ما انت شايف back of the tongue بيطلع ويقفل الايه ده. Yeah, I got here. Yeah, thank God. I have, yes, this is the place of articulation of the first couple, which is bilabial. بنسميه bilabial عشان عندنا two lips عندنا p and b. The second is alveolar. Look at the position, look at the place of articulation here. شكل كده لما بنيجي ننطق t and d, the tip of the tongue touching, making firm contact قافلة تماما مع الالفيولار ريج. وطبعا لما جينا ننطق ك انجا زي شايفين the back of the tongue is moving up to make firm contact with the excuse me, with the hard palate, sorry, with the soft palate. Excuse me. Okay. Excuse me. Let's go to get some examples. Yes. Come. Look at the aspiration. نطلعه بهوا كده. Come. Come. Gum. Clean. Glean. Kite. Guide. Chemistry. 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 Gardening. Curl. Girl. Curl. If we do not pronounce the R. Curl. Girl. Back. Bag. So we have how many? 6 plosive consonants. Now let's move on to the second group, which is the English fricative consonants. As you see, they are 9. And let's read aloud. F, v, s, z, s, z, sh, j, and h. Okay, and 5 of them are voiceless, only noise. F, s, s, sh. Okay. And as the name suggests, زي ما احنا عارفين احنا مش هنحفظ بقى، احنا نشوف بس الكلمة to know what does it mean. The term here, fricative consonant, as the name suggests, there must be a friction, احتكاك, in order for a fricative consonant to be pronounced. طب الفريكشن ده عبارة عن ايه؟ Friction is a hissing noise produced when two organs come very close to each other, causing a narrowing of air passage. يبقى الفريكشن ده اللي هو الاحتكاك عبارة عن hissing sound، صوت كده يعني just a noise. And if we look at the word hissing, as you see, making some noise, okay. And it happens when two organs of speech are or come very close to each other, and this makes or causes a narrowing, creating a narrowing of air passage. Air goes out through a narrow passage. narrowing بقى، عملية narrowing دي أهم حاجة، لأن narrowing of air passage takes place at various positions in the vocal fold. يبقى أنا عندي هنا fricative consonants نتيجة they are produced due to friction، والفريكشن بعرفه اهوت وبقول ان هو it's a hissing noise produced when two organs come very close to each other, causing a narrowing of air passage. So you must know what's meant by friction, and this friction, what causes friction, and without friction and without narrowing we cannot pronounce these fricative consonants. أديك مثال مثلا when you say f, what happens is that the upper teeth and the lower lip are coming very close to each other, and the air stream is not completely blocked. ما احناش قافلين الهواء، مجرى الهواء خالص، ولكن احنا we let air to go out through a narrow passage. بنعمل narrowing من ضيق، فنعمل طب suppose that you want to make the air passage wider، يعني عايزين تخلي مجرى الهواء أوسع شوية. would you be able to pronounce ف؟ حاول توسع كده to make the upper teeth بتاعتك to be away a little bit from the lower lip. would you be able to pronounce ف or v? No, of course no. So what happens is that in order to pronounce any fricative consonant there must be narrowing of air passage. لازم يبقى في ضيق لمجرى الهواء. بيحصل ازاي؟ two organs لازم عضوين من أعضاء الكلام يبقوا excuse me very close to each other، لأن ده هو اللي بيعمل friction. excuse me, I want to finish. Okay, the first couple is f, v, and the friction here is labiodental، لأن إحنا عندنا ما بننطق الupper teeth مع اللور لب، فاللابيو من يعني لب ودنتال يعني سنين، فاللابيو دنتال جزء اهوت من اللب والتيث. Okay, وشرح لك بقول لك the upper teeth come very close to the lower lip, allowing air to go out through a very narrow passage. لازم يبقى في very narrow passage of air stream. Okay, لأن ده what causes friction. And the two sounds here are f, which is voiceless and voiced consonant, and v, which is voiced and the leanest consonant. Now let's look at the position of the upper teeth زي ما احنا شايفين and the lower lip, which is necessary to be very close to each other to make narrowing of air stream and then causing or creating friction necessary for pronouncing the fricative consonants f and v. Examples: fan, van, ferry, very, life, live. خدتوا بالكم طولت في الفي بتاع اللايف اللايف شويه ازاي في الاي بتاعتها عشان في voice consonant تطول prolongs the preceding vowel. life, live, fat, that, believe, believe, belief, believe, prolong نطول بقى في الإي. okay fine vine. then we have another couples صوتين كمان من ال fricative consonant s and the. And here this is a dental couple, and narrowing is formed by putting the tip of the tongue between بنحط بقى the tip of the tongue between the upper and the lower teeth. okay طبعا الس is voiceless and the is voiced. And this is the position or the place, the figure that illustrates how this couple of consonants is pronounced. You know, we have the tip of the tongue between the upper and the lower teeth to have th in 3 and the in this. And let's examine the following pair of words. You can repeat after me. Think, these, 3, father, both, other, breath, breathe, 30, feather, feather, don't say feather, feather. And we have the following couple is s and z. This is the way this couple is pronounced. The tip of the tongue زي ما انتم شايفين is raised to make for firm contact or not fair, so to be very close to the roof of the mouth, as you see. Okay, and this is the narrowing here is called alveolar. لان شايفين alveolar ده immediately الجزء اللي هو immediately followed the upper teeth. This is the upper teeth وده الجزء اللي بيليها بنسميه the alveolar ridge. Okay, the third position is alveolar, and where the narrowing of air stream or air passage is formed when the tip of the tongue approaches the alveolar ridge. Okay, the two consonants here we have s, which is fortis and strong and voiceless, and the second is z, which is voiced, weak and leanness. الكلمات بقى we have yes, Sue, zoo, Sandra, zebra, sand, zone, lesser, lazy, books, I hear bugs بيفتحوها شوية bugs, but anyhow books. And then dogs. And then another couple, sh and j. The place of articulation is palato-alveolar. Immediately after the زي في المكان اهو palato-alveolar. After the alveolar ridge area between the hard palate and the alveolar ridge area واخد من الاثنين فبنسميه palato-alveolar consonants. بنسميهم palato-alveolar consonant. And the narrowing of air passages is formed when the front or center of the tongue approach the palato-alveolar area, and the consonants produced in this at this point are the voiceless strong fortis sh and the voiced weak and leanness j. يبقى واللي دايما بنعتبرهم لدول اي الصوتين بيتنطقوا من نفس المكان يا جماعه بنعتبرهم sister consonants. okay, يعني ايه الفرق بين الش والج؟ ان اللي بس الش no voicing no vocal vibration، لكن الج فيها الكلام ده فيه vocal fold vibration. let's examine rush، rouge، fisherman. Don't say fisherman. Stress the first syllable. Fisherman. Treasure. Don't say treasure. Treasure. Sure. azure, azure, machine, pleasure, shoe, measure, okay. remember زي ما واخدين بالكم ان الصوت ده هو جا rarely coming at the beginning of words، ما بنشوفوش في بداية الكلمات خالص الا except in words borrowed from other languages، برضو علشان نعرف حاجة زي كده. Then we have another group of consonants, English affricate consonants, and we have only two. We have ch and j, and as you see, each one is a compound consonant with two homorganic consonants components. Homorganic يعني very similar to each other. يعني t and ch are similar because both are voiceless. And the second d and j, in which make j sound, they are also similar. They are voiced, and this makes them acting harmoniously with each other. And دول عشان انطق, in order to describe them, you describe each part alone. So you describe how t is pronounced, which is a stop consonant, and how sh is pronounced, which is a fricative consonant. Okay, so you have to describe the pronunciation of each component of each couple. Okay. طيب هنا transcription. We're gonna yes, let's read this part. For example, I want to show it to you. Yes, can it magnify it more? Yeah, no, that's enough. I think that's yeah, excuse me. Yes, one morning, British, one wa na morning, little red, little شايفين الله جوه تي على طول little red. Okay, riding hood asked her mother if she could go to visit her grandmother, as it had been away since they had seen each other. Okay, so let's read again. One morning, Little Red Riding Hood asked her mother if she could go to visit her grandmother, as it had been away since they had seen each other. Okay, let's read the same sentence using American pronunciation and transcription. One morning, or بقى in British is rhotic. Rhotic يعني ما بينطقوش R after vowels. Okay, one morning, little Red Riding Hood asked هنا ايه asked her with هنا her في R، لأن الأمريكان بينطقوا الR. her في البريتش her American mother. Okay, if she could go here's go هنا go to visit her هنا her من غير R her grandmother، مفيش مشكلة، نفس the same pronunciation same spell. Okay, and had been British had been, in American they say had been way since they had seen each other. Okay, So slight differences here. The pronunciation of R, the T between two vowels becomes a D, fast D, and then we have also A in asked, it becomes A. O in go, it becomes O. Slight differences between the two accents and the two models of English. We're going to talk about that later on. Okay. Now let's go to nasal consonants, another group, and we have three only. We have m, n, and ing. And the one distinct feature of these consonants is that they are nasal, nasality, and air is expelled, الهواء بيخرج through the nasal cavity rather than the oral cavity. And the second feature الخاصية الثانية is that all are voiced. ما فيش بقى voiceless و voice لا كلهم all are voiced involving vocal fold vibration. And the third feature الخاصية الثالثة is that they are syllabic. يعني هما each can form a syllable on its own right. احنا قلنا ان السيلابل لازم يبقى في النص vowel، لكن الما والنا والإنج دول sometimes especially in weak syllables they can make syllables without the need of a vowel. For example, the word bottom. Okay, here we find that ma قبلها ايه is preceded by a weak vowel which is schwa. Okay, so we can delete this and say bottom tum only. امتى بقى بشيل ما بقاش محتاجه فاول لما يبقى مع ما والنا والانج وممكن برضو السا والكلام ده، يعني كذا صوت كده. when they come in weak syllables. يعني weak syllables يعني in a syllable where the vowel is schwa. لما بلاقي في الفاول فيه schwa اقدر اشيلها واحط بقى اسيب بس ايه الما والنا وهكذا. 7 نفس الكلمه 7. okay. Sicken I can delete the ka of sicken, the schwa of sicken, and I make this word this way. Okay, so let's say them again. Bottom, 7, no vowel between the and na. شلناه خلاص، na بقت سلب. Bottom, thicken, okay, and that's it. Let's move to the fourth feature is that ma and na have free distributions. يعني we can find ma na coming at the beginning of words, in the middle of words, and at the end of words. إنما on the contrary, ing that sing وking والكلام ده, it is not widely distributed. It never comes initially. It never comes at the beginning of English words. It never ever comes at the beginning of English syllables or English words. You know, this is a very important thing we should know. Okay, so these are the 4 basic features of خصائص الأربعة بتاعت nasal consonant. We must mention them when we talk about the English nasal consonants اللي هم الثلاثي اللي احنا قدامنا. عندنا ما طبعا دي bilabial عشان two lips. طالما two lips كلمة باي يعني two، وليبيال يعني اثنين شفتين two lips شفتين. طيب و bilabial and nasals. Let's say ما and say ما and pinch. امسك كده your nose, pinch your nose امسكها كده. and when we say ما when I pinched my nose I cannot keep on pronouncing ma, and pronunciation of ma stops. بطلت خلاص انطق ما لما انا مسكت انفي، علشان كده خلاص معناه ان air which goes through the nose doesn't have any way out. مش عارف يخرج خلاص، يبقى no voice, no sound, nothing at all. the two lips بقى في الماء are pressed together, stopping airflow, and the compressed air is allowed to go through the nose as the two lips do not part. طب N is an alveolar consonant, alveolar nasal, alveolar. ليه؟ عشان the tip of the tongue is raised to touch the alveolar ridge area اللي هي المنطقة اللي بعد السنان مباشرة, and air goes also through the nose. The third is ng, and this is nasal velar. Nasal velar ليه؟ لأن هي من منطقة الفيلم or the soft palate. الاسم التاني للفيلم أو soft palate. وده the back of the tongue, as you see here, is in firm contact with the soft palate or the velum, and the same also as K. And the soft palate is lowered, letting no compressed air to escape through the to escape through the nose. Okay. So here letting escape compressed air to go through the nose. Okay. We have some words such as thank, such as sing, and so on. Another group which is lateral consonants. We have only one sound in this, which is the L sound, as you see. And this is lateral sound. Why do we call it lateral or lateral? Because air is released through the sides, the two sides of the tongue, rather than the center. الهواء بيخرج من الجوانب بتاع اللسان مش من النص. The center is closed as the tip of the tongue is pressed against the alveolar ridge. طبعا ال الأخرى is an alveolar ridge, is an alveolar consonant. وإحنا قلنا in English there are 6 alveolar consonants. The first is t, the second is d, the third is s, the fourth is z, the fifth is n, and the last one is, the sixth one is the l sound. Okay. This is the pronunciation of l. As you see, the tip of the tongue is touching the alveolar. دي منطقة الالفيولار ريدج يا جماعة اللي هو after the back, sorry, after the upper teeth, and air goes through the two sides of the tongue, and this is what it is called lateral consonant. يهمنا, we have to say that there are 3 variants or 3 allophones. Okay, أنا ممكن أكتب هنا another word which is allophones. Allophones. Okay, of the L sound or the L sound are usually identified. Number 1, clear la, and this comes at the beginning of words and before vowels. And dark la, as in light, land, and so on. The second is dark la, and this comes at the end of words and after vowels. For example, hill, well, school. You know, don't say hill or well or school. No, hill, oh, no, financial, political. And we number 3 الالفون الثالث لله بقى is voiceless la, and this comes after the accented aspirated p or k, as in play. We find that p, which is voiceless, makes la also voiceless, it devoiced la, as we see, play. And k also the same way. We have clean, clay. La here is no longer voiced, it becomes voiceless due to the influence of the preceding p in play and ka in clean. Okay. The last or the last group is the English approximant consonants, and they are 3, ra and wa and ya. The r, the wa, and the ya, and all are voiced, and they are vowel like, ليه بقى؟ لأن no air flow obstruction takes place. It goes freely, just as we pronounce the vowels. The air passage is a bit wider. Please don't forget that it's a bit wider than it is in the case of friction. الفرق ما بين approximants والfricatives that in the pronunciation of approximants, air passage is a bit wider. أوسع أكبر، يعني مجرى الهواء أوسع شوية. أوكي، فعشان كده مفيش friction. No friction. What's the difference between v and w? v w v w v w v w. What's the difference? Difference is that when we pronounce v, air stream is going, or is very narrow. Air is going through a narrow passage. لكن لما جينا ننطق الوا وسعنا شوية، فبدأنا قدرنا ننطق الوا. You understand? This is the pronunciation of the sound R. Yeah. Very important. When you pronounce R, you have to do two important things. The first step, or the first thing, is to get your lips rounded. لازم نضم شفايفنا. The second is to avoid having the tip of the tongue touching any part in the roof of the mouth. Okay, so we say R, R, R. We say R, R, R. Okay. In Arabic, just like similar to Italian and French, R is a trill sound. So we say ra, ra, ra. It's not as trill as in Italian or in Spanish when they say r, but our ra is also, the tip of the tongue is put forward, between the to tap against the back of the upper teeth. Okay, so we have to know or to note this difference, and to say it the English way, by doing these two important steps. The first step again is to get your lips rounded, and the second is to avoid having the tip of your tongue touching any part in the roof of the mouth. Okay, R, 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 R. Not Arabic, r, 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 or French, or Italian, r, and so on. طبعا American English, R is pronounced everywhere. Okay, it's a rhotic accent. عندنا الوا is a bilabial consonant. This is how wa is pronounced. Look here. We find that this is a soft palate يا جماعة. انتوا شايفين اهوت آخر حتة في the roof of the mouth, and it is shutting the nasal cavity. قافل المجرى بتاع الأنف, and air goes through the mouth. It's through the oral cavity, with the two lips are drawn together, but not closing air way or air stream. مش قافلين خالص air stream. They are rounded. هما بس مضمومين شوية, and air is going freely, just like any vowel. طيب الوا ده عبارة عن ايه؟ wa is how can we pronounce it? Try making wa sound long in words such as wall and what. You will find that it sounds like ooh. So we say will. Okay, wall. لو طولنا الواه شوية هناخد او. عشان كده بنقول مد واو. نقول مثلا ايه لو قلنا wall, طول واو شوية wall. Okay, wall. What? Okay. Just like برضو لو if you prolong it, لو طولنا شوية هناخد e. Okay. This is how what is pronounced. Okay. the final consonant here is a palatal approximant. ده بقى خلاص دول approximant consonants ثلاثي اهو r, w and ya. Where the center of the tongue gets close to the hard palate area, as we see. Okay, look at this. The tongue is raised to be very close to the hard palate. تعالوا نشوف بقى ده roof of the mouth يا جماعة. The teeth, the upper teeth, the alveolar ridge area, the hard palate, and the soft palate. Here the tongue is very close to the, it's not very close, it's close عشان ما نقدرش نقول إن هو very close يعني. It's close to the palate, the hard palate, and this why we call a palatal approximant. Okay, finally let me finish with English consonant chart. This is a chart that gets all the English consonants together and classifying them in terms of place of articulation. We have how many places? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 places of articulation. 8 أماكن بننطق منهم أصوات consonants في الإنجليزي. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 7 manner or ways of articulation. وده هم اللي احنا يعني sorry 6 by the way 6 sorry we have plosive or stop consonants, and as you see we have 2 bilabial consonants p and b, 2 alveolar, by the way it's not correct, it must be alveolar, 2 alveolar consonants which is plosive consonant t and d, 2 velar consonants k and g. Affricates we have ch and j. Fricatives we have f, v, s, z, s, z, sh, j and h. And nasal consonant m, n and ing, letter consonant l, and finally you have approximant or semi-vowel consonant. We have 3, w, which is bilabial, r, which is post-alveolar, and ya, which is palatal. Okay, and now let me finish with this exercise. Okay, give a complete description of the English consonant represented by the symbol here, and then supply an English word containing the sound. Here we have the example word sound ch, and it's found in words such as cherry. And if you look at the description of this consonant, we can say it's a voiceless palato-alveolar affricate consonant. Can we do this? Please do the same with the rest of the consonants. We have sa, we have ng, we have j, we have l, which is voiceless l after play and clay, as in clay and play. We have r, and we have ya, and we have ga. Okay. Let's go to another thing to finish my presentation here. I found this and I want to share it with you. It's a website that can help you transcribe using phonetic symbols. Without to do transcription on your own. And let me finish by saying, let's say thank you. This is sa and the a. Okay, thank, and then na. Okay, na, and then ka. Thank you. Okay, so we have this and this, so much, ma, and then we have and cha. Where is it? Cha. This is ta. Okay, let's T, and I need a sha here to make cha. Thank you so much. See you. Love you. love, and V, love you. All, where is O? Yeah, and then the two dots and all. Okay, C, you, the two dots here, you, and O. Next, N, A, K, S, T, time, T, and then we have I, and then we have A and E, Y, and M. Goodbye, good, and O, and D, and bye, B, and A, and E. Thank you so much. Love you all. See you next time. Goodbye.